Good morning. Welcome back to my channel, Lee's Love Language. And a lot of y'all gonna make comments on my shirt. I know it's a lot of cowboy haters, but this is something comfortable. Anyway, I wanted to speak on fear. I want to speak on fear when it comes to relationships. A lot of people have fear when it comes to relationships. They have the fear of, what if this don't work? They have the fear of, what if somebody used me? They have the fear of, what if this person don't love me? So it's so many factors that comes into fear in a relationship. And I believe fear paralyzes people. Fear is a hindrance. Fear will diminish your faith. Whereas fear, your faith is out the door. So a lot of times when you get into relationships, it's really a faith thing, because you really don't know if that person, is loyal. That person, is pretty much is going to be truthful, going to love you like they're supposed to. So a lot of it has to do with faith, and I think that's a lot of the reason why people is fearful of getting into a committed and a serious relationship, is because it stems from those things or whatever. And sometimes it stems from things that you have seen, in the past with maybe your parents' relationships, maybe a friend relationship, somebody things you may be seen on TV, things you heard about or whatever, that has the fear factor of, oh man, I want to stay away from a committed relationship or what have you. But if you're one of those people that you want to be in a relationship, do not allow fear to stop you. Because at the end of the day, being in a relationship requires, of course, on your behalf, it requires you being your best or becoming your best. So you can't control the other person, which, that is another fear, because people feel like, well, I can't control that person and what they do or whatever. No, you can't. But at the same time, if you are looking to be in a relationship, or if you are in a relationship, it's always tell signs that tells you about a person. Like I always tell my wife, like, you can sit there and listen to a person conversation, and eventually you'll pick up the type of person they are. Certain things that they say, because we creatures of habits. So it's habits that we have picked up throughout the years that has became a part of us. So even with relationships, if you're dating a person, or you think you've been about to be serious with a person or what have you, then tell you what, just listen. It's better to listen than to talk. That's biblical form. It's better to listen than to talk. A lot of people do a lot more talking than listening. So at the same time, if it's tell signs there, and a person is continuously doing something that you don't particularly like, of course, if you really dig that person, you into that person, of course you want to address that situation to that person, to make the situation known to that person. Hey, you are doing such and such, let's try to correct this or what have you. And likewise, you can ask somebody what I'm not doing in the relationship that you don't particularly like, because to make a golden relationship, it takes two. So with the fear factor of a relationship, it stems from rooted issues that people may have seen, what people have been through, that makes them skeptical about getting into a relationship. And it happens, it is reality. But let me give y'all a word of wisdom. God has not given us the spirit of fear, but a spirit of love, power, and a sound mind. So when you hear people that talk about fear that is normal, no, it's not normal. Because God says that it's not normal. I ain't give you that spirit. So if he ain't give you something or whatever when it comes to fear, then how is normal? It's just the world has made it normal or whatever the case may be and say, it's okay, it's okay if fear. Now it's a difference. People got to understand context or whatever. Context meaning that you got to understand what things are saying. You can't take it into what you think is saying. So, for instance, fear. I'm talking about the fear or what have you when it comes to being scared of things that may happen, things that may happen in the future or what have you. That's not even took place yet. It even take place. You know, it's almost called to a degree panic, groundless fear. You panicking about something that ain't even take place or what have you. It's in your mind frame or whatever. I'm talking about that fear. Now the other fear is like, say for instance, I'm driving and somebody swerve in my lane. I'm like, oh, now see that means that I'm on cautious. That means cautious. Then you know what I'm saying, now my adrenaline has kicked in to the point or whatever that now I'm cautious. That's not the fear I'm talking about. That's something that's normal because now your mind is saying danger or what have you. So you know, I'm not talking about that type of fear or whatever. That's not the fear of when it comes to you think something bad is going to happen to you or whatever. That's what I'm talking about. Don't have that type of fear of thinking that something bad is going to happen. You know, getting into a relationship, when I get into this relationship, then this person is going to do such and such. No, I don't want to get in a See, that's holding you back. Now, I'm speaking for the ones who want to be in a relationship eventually, or the ones who's in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? So the very thing that you're in fear will come upon you. As Job in the Bible, that's what happened to him. He was so fearful of certain things that they even take place, it came upon him. So why not reverse it and have faith or whatever that you're going to be in a good relationship, that good person, that good man or that good woman is coming to you or what have you. See, it's always action or reaction. It's always a yin and a yang. In other words, it's always a negative and a positive. Positive thinking, negative thinking. Which one you gonna allow yourself to dwell on? You know, to set your mind upon or what have you when it comes to relationships or what have you. Because it works both ways now. There's no shade of gray. There's no in the middle of when it comes to this. It's either you thinking positive or you thinking negative. So why not think positive of that, you know, it is a good man out there for you, ladies. Not all men is dogs. It's not. Or men, it is a good woman out there. Not all women is gold diggers. It's just looking for a man with money. It's women out there like that. It's men out there like that or whatever. But because of the certain things that you say in your certain belief system draws in certain people to you. And this is why you may find yourself getting in the same type of relationships or the same type of people is getting drawn to you because this is the way you're thinking. So at the end of the day, if you are looking for a relationship and you're trying to get into or if you're in a relationship now, your relationship always can make a 360 turnaround, but it takes two. It always takes two. It don't take one, it takes two. So even if that other person is not doing right, you got to look at yourself and go to and tell yourself that I am value and I am somebody and I deserve the love, the respect, you know, the everything that, you know, that's good for me. I deserve that. So you go to that person or whatever, if you think you're not receiving that from that person, and you have a sit down, you talk to them. You know, you don't have to yell, you know, you don't have to, you know, call out, you know what I'm saying, the woman or the man's name or whatever to get your point across, because you know that's not going to get you nowhere. That might stir up the pot even more. Now that person don't want to listen. Now y'all arguing. Nothing got accomplished. So, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's always a turnaround in good relationships. And if you are single, have positive thoughts or whatever of a decent person coming into your life. The type of person, write these things down. What type of man that you want. What type of woman you want. But one thing is key. One thing is key that people don't understand is that instead of trying to find the right one, become the right one. And a lot of people don't work on themselves. So you work on yourself or whatever to become the right person or whatever. So then you will attract that same type of person or whatever that you have worked on yourself, and that same energy that you put out because you done worked on yourself is the same energy that's going to come in. See, life is a game of boomerangs. Life is a game of planting seeds, reaping harvests. So whatever you reap, you know, wherever you sow, you shall reap. So at the end of the day, why not work on yourself first? Work on your character or whatever. So when you do come across that person as a decent person, you know, and I'm not saying you're not still going to have flaws, because everyone still have flaws, but some people got major flaws more than others. Like you got other flaws that's just more magnifying than other people's flaws. So why not look at your major flaws that you may have that may hinder you from being in a relationship, and realize, or whatever the case may be, like, hey, let me work on me before I find that decent person. Let me see what the things that I got to work out from the inside out. You know, because so many people like, I want me a good man, or I want me a good woman, or a decent woman, or what have you. Well, do you look at yourself as a decent woman or man? Because you should. But if you do, also know that you have flaws. So that person that you may meet, they may look at your flaws and be like, oh, no, I can't do you. I don't want that, or whatever the case may be. And, you know, so sometimes we got to examine ourselves. So fear will hold you back, or whatever the case may be, from being in a good relationship, because you've been in bad ones in the past, or like you said, you have seen bad ones or heard about something or whatever the case may be. Listen, just don't dwell on that stuff. Don't focus on that stuff. Focus on the good things. Focus on that you can have a good person in your life, and focus on yourself, that you become a better person each and every day. So I just thought that I'd just share that with you all, because that's something that I had to do with myself. You know, even in the relationship, the marriage that I'm in now, I'm still continuing to work on myself. Like I always say in the last videos, I have left, but I haven't arrived. And when we on this journey, on a relationship, I don't think nobody will arrive to the top of the peak, or whatever the case may be. Because if you rise to the top of the peak, that means you perfect. But we strive for perfection. Don't mean that you're going to get there. But as long as you strive, that means that you are continuously getting better. So that is the goal. Continuously getting better. So, y'all, I just want to share that with y'all. No fear, because God has not given you a spirit of fear, but love, power, and a sound mind. So, once again, thank y'all again for subscribing to my channel. Please hit the thumbs up. Tell your friends and family about my channel, whatever. I try to give, you know, sound advice, you know, coming from certain things that I have been through, or certain things that I have seen and experienced, or what have you. So once again, thank you for supporting me. Until we meet again, please love language.